Greetings, Guardians. This is Olympus Alliance, and today we're shining a bright light on a hero many players underestimate, but absolutely shouldn't. Alvana, the nature guardian of balance, the runic protector, and one of the smartest investments you can make when you want stability, control, and surprising frontline durability. He may not bring explosive power or flashy finishes, but Alvana brings something far more valuable: consistency, protection, and the ability to shape the rhythm of a fight in your team's favor. Alvana is an intelligence-based support who stands right on the front line, absorbing pressure while making sure your entire team survives longer, hits harder, and slows down threats before they can cause real damage. His kit is beautifully balanced. He heals all allies at once, protects the team from basic attacks, burns the two nearest enemies with fire runes, and slows, cripples, and damages the nearest threat with ice runes. His entire identity revolves around understanding what your team needs most, and delivering it exactly when the battlefield becomes dangerous. And this makes him a hero with extremely high synergy potential. One of the most explosive pairings is Iris. Her battles are fast and unforgiving, but when she faces tough opponents capable of striking early, she needs someone standing on the front line who can absorb that pressure. That's where Alvana becomes invaluable. He reduces the damage from basic attacks, one of the main threats Iris suffers from, and his runes slow down the nearest enemy, making it much harder to interrupt Iris before she begins her execution chain. Meanwhile, Iris benefits from the lowered magic defense Alvana causes, turning every hit into a punishing blow. It's simple but deadly: Alvana slows them, protects you, Iris melts them. Then we have Oya. Many players forget that although she deals physical damage, Oya also has profound tactical synergy with magic heroes. Her mark lands on the enemy with the lowest health, and this becomes pure gold for Alvana. That marked target becomes the first to be slowed and damaged by runes, and the combined pressure pushes them toward collapse long before the rest of the team catches up. Add Oya's healing through critical hits and you get a rotating cycle of pressure, sustain, and controlled aggression. They work together better than most players expect, physical and magical working in perfect balance. Mojo is another incredible partner. When you put Mojo beside Alvana, you unlock one of the most reliable sustain engines in the game. Alvana weakens basic attacks and heals the team consistently. Mojo then adds bonus energy, more healing, and accelerates the overall tempo of the team. This combination lets even fragile damage dealers reach their ultimates safely, while the enemy frontline collapses under repeated rune hits and faster spell casts. It's not flashy, it's intelligent and brutally effective. But the synergy that really makes people raise their eyebrows is Mushy and Shroom. Alvana's healing keeps her clones alive longer. His rune damage and early slowing effect soften the front line. And when Mushy begins her cascade of silence and explosions, the enemy team loses all coordination. Against intelligence-based opponents on the front line, this duo becomes almost unfair. Mushy stops their magic skills, Alvana slows their movement, and both heroes layer healing and control until the opponent collapses without any chance of stabilizing. Supporting Alvana is equally important. He may support the team, but even the protector needs protection. Aurora is one of his best partners because she fills the gap he lacks, dealing with magic damage. Alvana blocks basic attacks and heals. Aurora absorbs magic, dodges physical hits, and counters with a burst of magic damage when overloaded. Together they form a frontline that responds to every threat type instead of collapsing under concentrated damage. One protects the team. The other protects the protector. Octavia is another elite support option. The Empress gives Alvana something he desperately needs: dodge and bonus energy. Suddenly, he dodges basic attacks, dodges magic damage, triggers more runes, heals more often, and stays alive much longer. With Octavia boosting energy and weakening the enemy frontline through her passive effects, your whole team works faster while the frontline becomes one of the hardest walls to break. Rufus also brings huge value, especially against magic-heavy opponents. When magic damage begins to overwhelm Alvana's defenses, Rufus's massive shield devours those hits and then heals the team. This pairing covers both extremes. Alvana handles basic attacks and slow pressure, Rufus absorbs magic and restores health. Together they stabilize even the most chaotic fights. Even Maya, the newest nature hero, becomes a beautiful natural pairing. Her branches distract both the back and front lines, her pure damage forces enemies into panic, and her strong healing overlaps perfectly with Alvana's more controlled sustain. Together, they create a defensive engine that is very difficult to break, especially when enemies rely on attrition or timed bursts. But as always, every hero has counters, and knowledge is power. Alvana only blocks basic attacks. Skills go through him as if nothing were there. This means heroes who hit everyone with abilities, like Iris, Heidi, and Tempest, can cut directly through his protections. Heroes who ignore the frontline with their skills, like Zesha or Lilith, also bypass everything Alvana offers. When the pressure skips him, he can't do his job. Cornelius is a direct counter. Not only does he resist Alvana's magic, but his monolith can crush an intelligence-based frontline hero if their stats aren't reinforced. And because Alvana stands in the front, he is always a potential direct target. Celeste also gives him serious trouble. Her dark flames convert healing into raw magic damage. The more Alvana tries to sustain his team, the more damage the enemy receives, and that includes Alvana himself. Her purifying sphere also blocks negative effects, reducing the impact of rune debuffs. Alvana is a fantastic hero, but he is not unstoppable. Knowing where he shines and where he struggles is the key to using him properly. And that's the full breakdown, Guardians. Alvana isn't designed to dominate alone. He is a stabilizer, a conductor of the battlefield, and one of the smartest investments for players who want reliable, intelligent, tactical gameplay. If you give him the right team, the right supports, and the right conditions, he becomes a quiet monster who decides battles before they even begin. Stay tuned, stay sharp, and as always, salute and friendship.